You're not imagining it. New houses are starting to feel hollow, but it's not because of bad craftsmanship. Today, we're going to explore 4 major design changes that will explain why the brand new homes can make you start to feel uneasy, and maybe some simple ways to fix it if you already have one of these houses. Hey, I'm Adam Stinespring. I'm a realtor here in Lynchburg, Virginia, and after seeing thousands of homes built after 2010, I've started to notice a pattern. They look really good in real estate photos, but they feel slightly unsettling in person. So let's start with what's above your head. Before 2010, it was uncommon for ceilings to be above 8 feet, but now 9, 10, 12 feet even is the standard new build. And psychologists call this the cathedral effect. So high ceilings encourage expansive and abstract thinking, while lower ceilings promote more focus. But research from the University of Melbourne found that excessively high ceilings can actually make it harder for your brain to orient itself, which can lead to restlessness and distraction. It's kind of like the difference between sitting at a cozy coffee shop or sitting in an airport terminal. One makes you feel grounded, while the other one makes you feel like you need to fly, pun intended. Now on to walls, or the lack thereof. Open floor plans, again, became more of a standard in 2010, even though they existed previously. And again, they do look really good, but they create something that psychologists and acoustical engineers call sound bleeding. Studies of open floor plan offices show that they raise stress hormones and increase mental fatigue by up to 25%, and that's in a workday. If you're at home, this effect is constant. The blender's going, the TV's going, your toddler is screaming, your dog is scratching their nails on your hardwood, and it's traveling through all of the spaces. Your brain is wired to expect walls to dampen sound, and when it doesn't, it stays in low-level stress mode all day. Here's one you might have not noticed consciously, but fewer, brighter light sources in the houses and bigger windows. And builders call this, bringing the outside in, but the problem is your circadian rhythm doesn't just respond to sunlight. It actually responds to the variety and the placement of light. Research in the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that people with multiple layered light sources like lamps and sconces and windows reported significantly better sleep quality than those relying on a couple of large windows and very white overhead LEDs. And the last one, hallways. They've almost disappeared. Developers call this wasted square footage, but psychologists call these transition spaces. Basically, these are mental zones that help you reset from your public life to your private life. Or some would call this the doorway effect. It's very well documented. Basically, crossing a threshold resets your working memory, and it helps your brain transition to the next task. And if every room is bleeding into the next, then there's no buffer point. That means less privacy, more tension, and not really an option for an off switch. I actually saw this play out firsthand. I held an open house once. It was a new build, but it had some old style to it. So the ceilings were about 8.5 feet, and it was a little bit more divided, even though it still had some of the open concepts. And one couple came in and said, we actually came to this one because even though it's a new build, it still had some of the old-timey feel. And it wasn't the finishes. They couldn't really explain it architecturally, but obviously we know what they were sensing. With that extra bit of division and almost human scaling, it felt better to live in. It's actually the same reason that some of the buyers I work with light up when we walk into a Rivermont home that was built in the 1920s. They say it feels warm even though it's way smaller, feels cramped, and definitely not as modern. And then when we go tour a forest home from 2018, same price, even maybe double the square footage, but they pause and they can't pinpoint why, but they feel uneasy. And obviously we know now some of the reasons this may be happening to them, whether they are consciously aware of it or not. Now, if you have an open floor plan, don't panic. There are plenty of ways to solve some of these problems. So for the ceiling height, you can add some pendant lights or maybe some wood beams to break up that space. For sound bleeding, you can add some big area rugs. Your furniture will help. Adding some curtains and some wall decor, maybe even some bookshelves will help break up that sound. For the lighting, maybe just add some lamps at different heights and change those white bulbs to maybe some warmer ones. And then for the hallway issue, you can actually create fake hallways using furniture to create your own transition zones. Here's my question for you. When was your house built, and how does it make you feel? And if you like learning about some of these psychological concepts that revolve around real estate, then consider subscribing because, trust me, I've got a lot more to uncover. I'll see you at the closing table.